once again to discuss things.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I'm Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Rasco Jackson, who has a new YouTube channel that I didn't know about the last time we recorded. Isn't that correct?
Yes. Rasco's Modern Life. Check it out.
Indeed. See, this sounds really disingenuous and stuff. That's because we already tried recording this and then failed miserably, and so we didn't get too far into it, so the rest of the review will be genuine. But, you know, the intro, it was gold, and now it's shit. Anyway, I'll update the intro for you, Rasco, and hopefully we'll send some subscribers your way. There will be a link to his new channel in the description. Anyway, Rasco, what are we talking about today?
Again, if you guys had seen the previous intro that we didn't use, I had trouble remembering what the title was, and now I can't remember what the title is again, but it's like Uncanny X-Men Final Countdown. It's like a ridiculous title.
Yeah, and to be fair, and you didn't know this when you picked it, and you had no reason to know this when you picked it, it is a fan series, not just a fan film. It's Uncanny X-Men Start Countdown fan film, and that's a really complicated title. So, I guess Uncanny X-Men is the title, and then X-Men Start Countdown, or I guess Uncanny X-Men is the fan series title, and then X-Men Start Countdown is the no, because that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, see, it just doesn't make any sense.
And yeah, I mean, we're kind of showing our hand a little early here. At least I am, because yeah, this isn't very good, and I'm gonna feel bad throughout this entire review because I don't like to be negative on these things. You know, I understand they're fan films, they're passionate, and they're made for the fun of it. I just watched an old fan film I made today, and my goddamn, it's really well written. My acting is just okay. My buddy's acting is awful, and our audio and video quality is terrible. But, you know, so I understand that these are not always going to be of the highest quality, and I accept that, but it's times like this where I'd just rather say, oh, that was fun that you did that, and then kind of, you know, respectfully keep my mouth shut. But that's not going to happen because it's a review, and occasionally these have to get painful.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it, though?
Okay, so I have a very strange relationship with this fan film. I'm gonna be honest, of all the fan films we watched, this is one of the most personally entertaining ones.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that it's good.
This I'm excited for. Go on.
Okay, so I'm gonna say the whole intro fight scene is hilarious, like schlock in the best way, but it's completely ridiculous and absolutely hilarious, but it's awesome. And then they have Mr. Sinister come in, and Mr. Sinister, that whole scene is just like so just stupid for so many reasons. Like, we're here for Jean. Oh no, we're out of time. We're not here for Jean. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay.
I don't think they were all there at the same time, is why I feel like that scene's so awkward. Because if you notice, they shoot it, you know, one of the things you're not supposed to do in cinematography, and it's a rule of cinematography, so you can of course break this rule, but one of the general rules of cinematography is you don't do reverse angle shots. You don't do you never go more than 180 degrees for a shot. Mm-hmm. And they do that here. They go complete opposite angle, juxtaposed angle for that scene, and so it's very much as if the actors were not all there. The only reason I think they might have been there is because the one guy comes over and like punches Wolverine or something, but then it might just be a case of that one guy was the only one there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene was kind of ridiculous. Just the whole, like, the fight scene, I think I could tell you, how they did the visual effects for that. And sorry for any clicky noises, I'm trying to get my microphone into a convenient place. Anyway, yeah, I think I could break down and tell you how they did each one of their visual effects, but my main guess is going to be stock green screen animation elements that they found on YouTube, which I've used them plenty, so I'm not going to rag on people for using those. I think that's where they got the majority of their animations, and a lot of the energy blasts and stuff were probably made using just noise and different filters and stock stuff that's in different editing programs. Like in Vegas, fuck it, I'll do it right now. I can make lightning shoot across the screen and stuff. 8 minutes, 22 seconds. I can make lightning shoot across the screen and stuff. And so that's just a stock effect that you can achieve by doing certain things. And I'd be willing to bet that's how they achieved most of their things. Which, when it's an isolated single effect, that's okay to do. But when you try to do this much stuff on screen at once, and you're not, like, kind of knowingly, tongue-in-cheek about it or something, it starts to look really silly really quick.
Yeah.
Go on, please, take over.
Okay, so there are so many things that are like, these are all going to sound like I'm making fun of this, because I am, but it's legitimately what makes it entertaining for me, is that, like, you start off, so, you know, like Bishop, and what was the other girl's name? Bishop's sister? What's her name?
Oh, I don't know, I'm not an X-Men guy. Is that an actual character from the comics?
I believe so, but I could be wrong. But so, like, Bishop and his sister come back, and so we see them teleport there. Then we cut away, we're seeing, like, all the X-Men fight. We have Angel, who just has angel wings, but he can't fly. So, like, he's just like a normal guy, pretty much. Like, he just has wings, and it's hilarious. And then you have
Shard.
And then
Shard is the character's name.
Yeah, Shard. Okay, so then so Bishop and Shard appear. You cut to the X-Men, you cut all of them, they're fighting. Then we cut back to Shard and Bishop, and they're, like, just now taking their first steps forward in perfect unison. So they were just, like, standing still, I guess, for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious. And they're all, like, just beating the shit and, like, murdering these, like, creepy guys with, like, purge masks. And it's hilarious.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, This feels like one of those things where the people who've made it are gonna look back on it and laugh and like, oh man, that was a lot of fun. When they're older, but this isn't like the kind of fan film where it's gonna really turn into anything, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what gets me the most about this is an X-Men fan film has the opportunity to do something that the movies have just decided they're not gonna do. Because we've heard this a lot about how, why the fuck aren't the X-Men movies just about teenagers going to high school and dealing with having superpowers? Because that would be the greatest thing ever. And instead the X-Men movies are like these big epic battles and shit. And a fan film is like the perfect thing to do that with. You just have teenagers going, and like then, even if you use the same level of just stock animation and you know, color effects and stuff, green screen work, it would be fine because you could actually spend some time to get us invested in the drama, even if the actors aren't very good.
Yeah, you're right in that. I like, this is really hypocritical of me, like, thinking this is so funny.
You're the one that's always like, oh man, why don't you just shoot some people in a room?
Yeah, because like I always say that, and it's, I don't know, like, for me this doesn't cross. Okay, so here's the difference between this and the Green Lantern fan film. Like, that one. Okay, there's really no difference. It's just that one, like, played itself a little bit more, like, seriously. Like there's like a funeral and all this stuff, and you have like this like date scene, and this is just like the X-Men are just like murdering a bunch of people, and it's fucking hilarious. Now, I don't care at all about the ending boardroom or like the big like meeting scene. Like that's just I don't care about that, and I don't care about the whole conflict with Sinister because like literally he's just like, "Hi, I'm Sinister. Get Jean. Oh, we can't get Jean. Bye. But I still have time to teleport and get this guy and leave." And then like he gets that guy. And it's like, why did you just do that with Jean? And like, why did the X-Men not do anything when Sinister shows up? He shows up. And they just stand there and look at him like a bunch of jackasses. And then the Scream guy is like, "Meow." But like the thing that's hilarious about that is that they did like this is in so many fan films and stuff where someone like you could tell that when they recorded audio like they didn't want to be very loud, but it's like his power is like scream power. So he's like, and they like put like a filter on that. And it just sounds like a guy who's like, it doesn't sound like he's like screaming or anything.
Oh god. Oh man. Yeah. And that's the problem with it. It is exactly like the Green Lantern fan film in every way except the effects. Like, not even the effects are better. The effects were smart enough not to try to make anyone fly. That is the only thing they did better, is they knew they couldn't make anyone fly, so they didn't try to make anyone fly. And honestly, that might just be the case with this one episode, and they might constantly be trying to make actors fly in other episodes, which probably would just make it even worse. Yeah. And really, if the people that made this are listening, oh shit, sorry, I probably just got a bunch of audio over your side of things. Anyway, if the people that made this are listening, we're not trying to be mean. There's just some really funny stuff in here that like is really hard to ignore. Let's see here. This channel has 15,000 subscribers, so you certainly don't need any advice from me. But it's still... Oh man, Squatch. Oh, I'm looking over their channel. Oh, this isn't. No, I can't really be that nice to this thing anymore. With 15,000 subscribers, that was the newest episodes from season 5 of this series.
What?
Yeah, that video was posted, YouTube says, a month ago, and they've been doing this for 5 seasons.
But you know, that's some commitment right there. Like that's.
Yeah, I get that that's commitment, but it's on the point where you might as well be committed. Because just the quality, I mean, I'm afraid to go back to the old episodes now. Because this is the best they could do in 5 seasons?
Yeah, it struggles from a thing that you see in a lot of fan films. This is not like a unique problem with this one, but like, it's really not a story. It's just literally like this script is X-Men fight, Sinister shows up and leaves, they talk.
And I mean, maybe this was like just their, like, I guess this is the first episode of the season, and so maybe they're just trying to start it off with like a big action-packed, like, oh shit scenario, and maybe it's picking up some story from the last episode of the last season. I don't know, but regardless, it doesn't make me want to go check out more. Maybe if I were... Like, okay, so... Neither of us really cared for the Green Lantern fan film, obviously. You're definitely not a Green Lantern fan. That fan film clearly didn't inspire you to go watch more Green Lantern fan films, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this does not inspire me to want to go watch more of their X-Men fan films, or frankly, any X-Men fan films, unless I knew somehow going in that it was going to be better.
Yeah,
I feel like such a dick, and I'm sorry.
I don't know. Like, I might have to go back and watch the rest of this just because, like, and this sounds horrible, but it really is, for me, incredibly entertaining. Like, I watched this, like, 3 times, and one of the times when I watched it with other people. And it was super funny, but I mean, like, not good in a good like it's hilarious, but we're laughing at it more than with it.
And that's the problem. Okay, let's try to be nice for a little bit, just because I do feel like a dick, and I don't want to go into these being a dick. What is something that you liked about this? That non-ironically, that they're trying to achieve. What is something that you liked?
Cyclops' costume looks cool.
Yeah, I'll say most of the costumes look pretty good, except for, I think, Iceman? Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he's just wearing a Nike shirt. But no, Wolverine's costume looks pretty good. Bishop and Shard look alright, too.
Oh, the guy who played Bishop, he looked perfect in that role.
Yeah, I quite like that. I mean, everyone looks their part, right? I especially like Rogue's costume. That looked great. And initially watching this before I realized it was part of a series, because you just see that opening fight scene. I'm like, oh, so I guess just a bunch of cosplayers met up and decided to do an X-Men fight on film or something.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was that, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But no, I mean the cosplay, the costumes look pretty good. They look like stuff that I'd see some pretty committed cosplayers wearing, which is I got to give that some respect. That's pretty well done. What do you think of the acting in this? Because I don't think it's great or anything, but I don't think anyone's like comically bad.
Mr. Sinister, that guy was legitimately creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that can be kind of just given to the makeup, but that guy was fine. The guy who played Wolverine was fine. The guy who played Professor X was fine. The guy who played Gambit looks like James Franco.
Okay.
Just an observation.
Yeah.
The girl, I don't know what her character's name was, but the girl who like did a test. I don't know what power she had, but it was
I think that was Vertigo.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that's who that was actually. Yeah, you're right. She just stood there and had this like hilariously stupid smile and just like that made me laugh so fucking hard.
Okay. What are we at time-wise? Because I'm feeling bad about this. Oh man, we still gotta go for at least another few minutes. Okay. Other positive things. Let's be positive for a while. Music sounded alright. There were no sound integration problems. You mentioned the guy like clearly being dubbed in, and yeah, that's a problem, but that's just like more of a performance issue than it is audio level problem. I could clearly hear everything that was being said, which shouldn't be a compliment, but among fan films, my own included, is a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I was really appreciative that they took the time to get some good quality sound in there, and everything was mixed really well. Nothing seemed to overpower anything. So that was really good. How about you? You got anything else?
There was like you know what? Okay, here's what I'll say. There was a few moments throughout some of the fight scenes that were like kind of cool from a actual like action directing standpoint. Okay, very small, but they were there. There was this part where Rogue like goes up, punches a guy, and, like picks him up and like throws him down, and if that wasn't bad, like that could have looked much worse. It was kind of cool. Like the camera did this thing where it moved with it. You kind of felt the impact. There was a few of those.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Fair enough. Yeah, and unfortunately, when we get to a point where we have to try to be positive about these things, is when I can tell that I can just you as a listener should be able to tell it's not a very good fan film. I always leave links in the description to these things, and honestly, check them out even if they are bad. But this is not one I think I would share with anyone. outside of this episode.
Well, I've already shared it with 2 people, so
Well, I guess you're a sadist then.
yeah.
No, that was too mean. No, it's just there's very much a perception of fan films as being only this kind of thing. And, you know, we've done episodes, we've watched fan films that show it, they can clearly be much, much more than this quality of work, and that they can be, you know, quite a bit better than stuff that's even coming out from the studios. And you wouldn't have those level of projects without stuff that's on this level. And, you know, once again, if the people that made this are listening, don't let me put you down or anything. You know, if anything, take some of these criticisms we're throwing at you and use it as an excuse to keep going and get better and better. But you wouldn't have high quality, even looking fan films like City of Scars without stuff like this being made. You wouldn't have Dragon Ball Z: The Fall of Men without stuff like this being made, because it gets people interested in fan films, and it creates a platform that makes people want to go out and make more of them and do it better and better. And unfortunately, this is just one of those situations where this is a stepping stone. This is not something that I could recommend many other people watch unless you're just really, really, really into X-Men fan films. Because, I mean, there are some Joker fan films, Batman and Joker fan films, of this quality and worse that I have watched and that I have quite enjoyed on a legitimate level. And that's because I'm a Batman and Joker fan. And so, yeah, Squatch, for the love of God, save me. I'm spiraling. Oh, not Squatch. God damn it. Rasco.
This was, I don't know. This of the fan films we watched, this is not my least favorite by any means. Like,
okay.
I prefer this to the Green Lantern fan film. That one was definitely a better written fan film, I would guess. Like, I not guess. It's better written. It's, I don't know, but like this was entertaining. That's what I will say about it. I can't say it's good, and there are definitely obvious examples of things in it that like lead you to the obvious conclusion of this isn't very good. But it's entertaining. I watched it with some people, and they thought it was hilarious as well. So, I don't know. Turn to self-parody, perhaps.
I mean, I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was like that, right? If they just... I mean, I don't know, because I don't want to shit on them for making an effort to make something good. There's MG Lusick. I don't know if you've watched any of his stuff, but he got really big doing Deadpool fan films. And, you know, he was kind of self-parody. He would make fun of the fact that he was a little chunky under the suit and stuff like that. And they made it work. They made their low quality of stuff work, and it was very self-referential as, this is a crummy looking fan film. And not everything has to be that. And once again, if you didn't have stuff like this that was making a genuine, serious effort, even if it was overall a poorly executed effort, then you wouldn't have better stuff. And certainly there's a certain level of, well, how good do you expect it to be? You know, they got the costuming right, the acting isn't god-awful, the action direction, as you said, is okay at times, the effects don't look... Like, nothing in this is wholly terrible, to me. Everything is just, like, not very good, bordering on cheesy, and so it makes it really hard to get invested in any of it, right? Like, the acting isn't bad, but it's also not good. The costumes aren't bad, but they're also not very cinematic. The effects aren't bad, laughable, but they're also not. They're also overused, and so it gets too ridiculous. Like everything's like a half measure, and there's not just any one thing about it that's great, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah, if it was like the Archer fan film where it didn't like look very great, but it was like shot well enough and the dialogue was good, then like it would be much easier to overlook all of that kind of stuff and just be like, oh. But that's the big thing that this one suffers from is that it's not well written. Like that's a dilemma.
Yeah, and that's like overall one of the only things you can really hold a fan film to on the same level that you would a Hollywood production or whatever is it better written?
Yeah.
Because that's why you have to go out and want to make a fan film is because you want to tell a better story or your own version of a story than the studios are putting out there. And so you get to a certain point where if the story isn't at least, in some respects better, then, you doesn't matter how good everything else is, even if it's mediocre overall by film standards or fairly good by fan film standards. It's just, it doesn't cut it if the story doesn't fly, and I don't feel like there's a story here. At least not enough in a self-contained episode. I don't think it's too much to demand that the first episode of a season of your fan film be open enough to someone who hasn't been watching the rest of your fan series to understand what's going on. I don't think that's asking too much.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are also just like questions that are strange and I don't think are answered. Like I wouldn't expect these things to be answered in previous episodes, so they seem like just kind of like strange. So like randomly Mr. Sinister pops up. Maybe that's been already set up, but I have no idea why he just randomly shows up there. But he does want Jean, but then just immediately leaves. So like there's a I guess that's why he's there, but then they just like give up. So it just doesn't I don't know, like it just I don't know. I don't want to like just dissect it on a story level because it's like not worth it.
There's none. It's mainly an action fight and set up for let's go fight Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister now. Like maybe they set up why Mr. Sinister is getting ready to go after them. Maybe they set up what the hell they want with Jean Grey and other telepaths. But we don't know enough just from this one episode. And again, it's even if it is a series, I should be able to jump on the first episode of a season. It's like having a new #1 issue comic book be just buried in continuity. You don't do that. It's like picking up from last time on this series that got canceled 2 years ago. No, you don't. That's not how that works in comics. That's not how that works with fan films and stuff. Or with fan series. So yeah, I'm not digging this one. Okay, let's go ahead and put the nail in the coffin and do a rating. I will give this 1 out of 5 bad dubbed screams. Rasco?
I will give this 1.1.5 drawn on Widow's Peaks with Sharpie marker. Did you notice that, Mr. Sinister? Like they like drew a Widow's Peak.
No, I didn't notice that. That's really fucking funny.
I'm gonna give it 1.5 drawn on Widow's Peaks out of 5.
Oh, okay. Ouch. I'm sorry, guys. I really, really am. Hope you don't hate us. I really feel like a dick for this episode. I'm sorry. And Squatch is... Damn it. Rasco's just sitting there and he's like, ha 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 ha.
I've been a dick before.
Yeah, me too, but not to fan films. Okay. Because, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I would have just quit watching this after the first 2 minutes. If I just had come across it on my own and we weren't doing this review. Which is the way with a lot of fan films, so don't get too discouraged from that. Anyway, next time, we're going to be talking about another fan series, actually, but this one has finished. And it was actually one of those fan films that was so good, quote-unquote, that it got shut down by the studios. Which, you know, is a pretty good marker. So, we will not actually be watching this on the original channel at which it was posted, but someone had collected the episodes and posted them in 2 parts, one for each season. Each is about half an hour long, so it didn't feel too long. We will be reviewing the adult Wednesday Addams series. No reaction?
Oh. Yay!
I don't know if you're an Addams Family fan or not, but I quite like them, so should be fun. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm Rasco's Modern Life.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.